welcome to the dark side of BEASTwriter. I'm your host, Ryan Sakamoto, and today we're going to be talking on our Blitz pickup. We are continuing to leave no stone unturned. We're going to talk about the draft. We're going to talk about Neil Farrell, a guy I've always been high on when it comes to the Las Vegas Raiders and why the Raiders are not sleeping on him and why you shouldn't as well. If you guys followed me from day one in my first year covering the Raiders as a beat writer for the team, you guys would know in my Locker Room Pulse interviews, I've always been high on Neil Farrell from watching practice and training camp and everything in between. Now, before we go ahead and get started, I just want to say mahalo to each and every one of you for subscribing to the channel. If you have yet to subscribe to the channel, please go ahead and do so and hit that bell notification so you get notified when I go live or when I upload content. Also, I just want to point out that there's 14.5% of us on YouTube that just hit the bell notifications. So if you don't hit the bell notifications, you will not know when we go live or when we upload content or when we have a Blitz pickup with my guy, Andre Carter. You guys know who he is. Played for the Raiders, played for the Patriots, played for the San Francisco 49ers, also coached with the Jets, the Dolphins, 49ers, and then also at LSU, among other teams. So again, he's well-versed in the NFL circles, knows his stuff. He is basically... when he played, he was like a coach, even though he was a player. He's like a player, coach, player. Like the guy's just really, really smart. Obviously, you guys know he's from the Bay Area, went to Oak Grove High School. And coincidentally, he was drafted number 7th overall, right? Back in 2001. So the Raiders hold a number 7th overall pick. We're going to talk about his draft process, how it relates to this one as we turn the page. So again, let's go ahead and leave no stone unturned. But remember to hit that like button. There's 17 of us watching it. Let's go ahead and do that. And again, let's push the DOB to everyone in house. All right, let's welcome my man, Andre Carter.
Brother. How you doing, man?
How you been?
Doing great, brother. Long time no talk.
I know. Let's talk about you for a second. So congratulations. First of all, your high school team that you coach won state championship down in Florida, right? So what, St. Aquinas, is that the high school?
Yes, St. Thomas Aquinas. So St. Thomas Aquinas, they're based in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. After my time at LSU, fortunately, it was a new coaching staff, new coach regime. So it's kind of like out with the old and with the new. So basically I had an opportunity just to go back to Florida with my family. And the head coach, Coach Roger Harriet, God bless him, he asked me if I wanted to coach some football and be a good mentor and basically just, lead by example for some great high school kids. And I said, sure, why not? And at the time, my son was going at the same high school. So it was a perfect match. And we ended up having an undefeated season, very fortunate. And then, shout out to my seniors, Sayez, Tobias Millen, Keyshawn Johnson, Devin, and Ryan Liz. I think that's it for my seniors. I hope I don't miss anybody. They did a great job for me. They represented the D-line well. They represented the school well. So I was very proud.
And one thing about you is you never give credit to yourself. You always give credit to the players. Like
Right.
You're very humble in that way, but I'm going to just tone down your humbleness and just say wherever you go, you have success. And I think the common denominator is you. You're not going to say it yourself. You're not going to say it yourself. I know you. I've known you for years.
No, never.
You would never say it.
Yeah, it's I try to read when I can, and I'm not necessarily try to compare myself to any other coaches, but it's like that coach's philosophy. It's just like you as a coach, you try to bring the best out of people. And as long as you bring the best out of people as a coach, you did your job. But at the end of the day, because they not only believe in themselves, but they also believe in you and they entrusted the process of them becoming better. So I think that for me personally, that's what defines me as a coach. And especially if you have somebody, especially a kid or certain players that haven't really matched their potential or have questioned their potential, well, it's my job as a coach to bring it out you. And then once that's out of it, I'm like, all right, now your journey is set. Now it's up to you to define what you want to do with it. And I've had some great coaches. I mean, from Dwayne Boer, who I had with the 49ers, Steve Mariucci, still love him to this day. Joe Gibbs, Greg Blash. Obviously learned from even later on in my career, Pepper Johnson, who was my D-line coach. Patrick Graham, just kind of learn from them, that level of tutelage, Bill Belichick. So all those coaches, were great. Terrell Williams, he was my D-line coach and my mentor when I first started getting into coaching. It's that journey. So I always said the reason my whole purpose of journey was to give things that were given to me from the guys I looked up to, the mentors that I had, and then also learn from stuff, from other coaches that obviously that I didn't mention, to do what I told myself that I would never do. So any coaches that I didn't mention, well, there you go. So it is what it is. But overall, I mean, and it's fun. And so, and like I said, what's more important to me is just building those relationships. Because I have players that I still talk to this day that hit me up, reach me out randomly. I mean, those are things that's like, I made an impact, but also they made it. Not only I made an impact on their lives, but vice versa. So it comes in full circle.
It's really crazy how a lot of those people that you mentioned, I mean, I always talk about household names, but they're household names that actually made a difference, like in the game. Like you talk
Yes.
about Joe Gibbs. I mean, you can
Oh
go
yeah.
back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah. I mean, you
crazy.
hear the word Joe Gibbs, man. I mean, not just like this level of accolades that he received over the years, but just like I said, God-fearing man. Besides Mariucci, um, he was the only coach. Those like the only two coaches I always asked, like, "Hey, how's your family doing?" They were names, not just, "Hey, how's your family doing?" So that's big. They took the time to realize, like, at the end of the day, yes, you're football players, but you're men as well. That stuff goes a long way. As a former player, those are the coaches that you want to play for and fight for.
I have a question for you. I know during Mooch's days, Pat Morris was the offensive line coach. Remember Pat Morris?
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I told you this, but my aunt was at the time best friends with Pat Morris's wife.
Oh wow.
And yeah, so you know how I had front row season tickets at Candlestick, you know that, right?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
so one day I was at the game, I was like, because I wasn't covering the Niners, I was still in like middle school or high school, middle
Yeah.
school. I think middle school, right? Because
Yeah.
98 is when Mooch came in,
Yeah.
and so and so I saw my aunt on the field with my cousin, and my uncle. I was like, "Wait, what are you guys doing on here?" And she's like, "Oh,
Right.
I'm here with the Morris's family." I'm like,
Oh
"Who?"
wow.
With the
Small
Coach Morris, I was
world.
like, "Dang, crazy!" And I was like,
Yeah.
get me on the field." She's like, "I
Yeah.
can't." I'm like, "Oh,
Wow.
yeah, that
That's
was
crazy.
crazy."
Yeah. Oh, and I got one more shout out. Jason Tarver. That's my guy right there.
Ooh,
He's the one that got me. My history with him was he knew me from back in the day being a Bay Area kid. He was part of the Bill Walsh. Me and him kind of talk about the stories of him being in the room when I got drafted, and then his level of ascension as a coach, but then also just being around him, me teach me linebacker in my 5th year, which was not fun, but so very, very patient. And then that relationship came in full circle on my time with the Raiders, and then I appreciate him. He was the main reason that I started my coaching journey. He helped me get into the Bill Walsh minority internship. He fought for me. That stuff goes twofold. So he's a guy, like, if he was ever back in the corner, I'd definitely fight with him, fight for him. So shout out to Jason Tarver. That was one more coach I had to give a shout out to.
I like Jason Tarver a lot.
Yeah,
He's a guy who's very smart and
very.
linebacker coach. If I remember correctly, he is from the Bay Area, right? Didn't he go to
Yeah,
West Valley or something? And then he
yes.
also
I want to say West Valley. I hope he won't kill me. I want to say West Valley,
is it? It is
but
West Valley, right? I thought it
yeah,
was.
I want to say yes. And then
Okay.
I think he was. Some I think I want to say econ major, some
Yes.
ridiculous type of major. But you think about Jason, like I said, there is book smart, but the thing about him that I really enjoyed, like, especially as a former player, I'm like, oh, because it's all about perception.
Right.
Like, you're like, okay, he's smart, but you know what? It actually does make sense. Like, he's really making football like real easy. He's trying to simplify the game, because unfortunately there's other coaches that are like too bright, but it's like their own own language. It's like their own level of linguistics that unfortunately certain players, especially where they're new, middle of the season, towards the end of the road, that they can't quite comprehend. Like Coach Tarver really made the game simple for me and other players.
That's crazy that you say they made the game simple, because someone who is that attention to detail oriented,
Yeah.
sometimes they kind of do too much and then it
Right.
takes you out of your comfort zone. You know what I'm talking
Right.
about?
Right. Yeah. Less is more. Less is
Less,
more.
less
And
is
so,
more.
I really just enjoyed him, and we talk, probably once every 6 months, but just a good stand up dude, and always been, even through his rise, through his ascension. I've had the utmost respect for him, so I'm glad.
Yeah, for those who don't know, he was the Raiders defensive coordinator, if I'm not mistaken. I think and then
Yeah.
he was also the Niners linebackers coach
Yep.
during
Yep.
my time covering him on the beat
Yep.
with the 49ers. So yeah, he's one of the guys I really like. I really like Jason Tarver. I went to West Valley too for a little bit, but
There you go.
yeah, Coach Tarver is awesome. Wasn't he nicknamed like the mad scientist? He was nicknamed
Oh yeah,
right?
definitely the mad scientist. I forgot about that. Definitely mad scientist, and he wasn't mad with us. He just knew how to just stir stuff, and you're like, dang, I never really thought about that. He just very creative. But like I said, when you kind of on the hip of Bill Walsh, I mean, and you can take that type of knowledge and then try to definitely um, make it your own in a sense, evolve it in a sense. It's great for him. So his career has continued to do great things.
And then Terrell Jones, wasn't he Coach Jones knows him too, right?
Yeah, yep. It was because they were in the same like the same coaching staff. So
Right.
and like I said, I played with Coach T with the Raiders in 2012, and he always told me I was going to be a coach, and I didn't believe him. And then obviously once I did my internship for the full season, me and Coach Terrell talked, and he was like, you ready, to go to Miami? I was like, yeah. So I was assistant with him for 1 year, but it just, like I said, having coaches like that really, supported your journey. I was very blessed. So it's been good.
All right, let's talk about your rise. You went to Cal, you went to Berkeley, you also went to Oak Grove, my rival. You guys know I'm from
Yeah,
Independence and Piedmont. But
yeah.
gosh, Oak Grove, man, I swear I hate you. I hate Oak Grove, bro. I hate you guys, bro. I just
I've
every
heard.
time
I've
we go,
heard.
you know why? I'll tell you
Uh,
why, bro. Every time, even till this day, every time you play and they're on your schedule, you know it's gonna be a dogfight. I don't care
right.
if they suck. I don't
Yeah.
care if they're. It doesn't matter. They're tough and they're physical, and I
They
freaking
always
hate
find a way. They
it.
always find a way.
Oh, dude, I hated it. I
I've
hated it.
heard, but you know what? I'm sad though because I've heard. I don't know what it is. They said the dynamics of the like South Bay football has just kind of changed. It's not as competitive as much. Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I've been seeing and hearing too.
Wow.
Piedmont, Piedmont, Independence, Oak Grove,
Yeah.
Andrew Hill.
Andrew Hill. Yeah, Andrew
You
Hill
know what
has
I'm
some
talking about?
dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Just different.
it's
The
a different
battle of the private public schools. It was like
Smash
us
Mouth.
and
It was Smash Mouth, bro.
yeah, St.
You know,
Francis, Oak Grove. That was like a big time rivalry. Bellarmine,
Valley
usually
Christian.
yeah,
Valley
Valley
Christian.
Christian, yeah. But it's just different now. It's unfortunate because
It
we had
is
some
unfortunate.
good Bay Area talent come in. Like I said, I haven't really kept up with much Bay Area football, but are there kids still getting recruited in that
Oh
area, or
yeah.
did it
Oh
change?
yeah. Oh yeah. Most recently, well, I say most recently. I mean, I guess in the last 5 years, there was a tight end that played for Coach Belichick. He was on the practice squad. Came out of Piedmont.
Okay.
Um, there's been a few guys coming out. I know. Well, shoot. Vita Vea, right?
Oh
Vita's
yeah,
from
Vita. Yeah, yeah. I remember
He went.
Vita.
So he went to Milpitas, and then so that's the
Right.
gym that
Oh
I work
wow.
out.
I didn't know he
Yeah,
was a big kid. Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
it's just like Delta O'Neal. So I mean, there's
Yeah,
still
yeah.
guys
Vita
that
came
come
out
out.
of you went to Washington, right?
He went to Washington, and
Yep,
then he
yeah,
got drafted by the Bucks.
I
Yeah.
remember that. Yep, yep. And then went to did he end up going to I mean he went to Bucks, he went somewhere else.
No, he's still on the Bucks, I think.
He's on the Bucks? Okay, I'm
Mhm.
tripping. All right, I'm thinking it was somebody else. So good for
Um,
him.
I think so, unless I'm wrong. I could be
Okay.
wrong.
We'll do a
Let me look.
research on that one.
I'll research it right now. But no, he Milpitas High, Washington. Yeah, he's on the Bucks right now.
Okay, gotcha.
Bucks. But yeah, no, he the guy I saw him in the gym right over off Calaveras. You know where that
Yeah.
is, Calaveras Boulevard.
Oh yeah.
And so they opened up that gym like before COVID, like 2018. And so every off season around this time, I would see him at the gym because I, as a foreign beat writer, I just live right there, right? Like, and I'm born and raised, whatever. So I'm just over at Milpitas, going to the gym, and he's in there. I was like, who the fuck is this big ass dude? Like, he's
Right.
huge, bro. Like,
Yeah.
he's not fat, like he's big.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so
It was like,
he was lifting like 35, 40, like he can
yeah.
lift like 225, like 35 times. No, this guy's the
Oh
most.
yeah. Yeah, man. Well, it's like Pulp Fiction. Do Simone. What you gonna do, man?
Bro, I'm just dude, the guy has that poly strength, bro.
Oh yeah, man. Shout out to all my polys, man. I miss my polys in the Bay Area. Isaac Sapawaga, my guy.
Whoa. So,
Talked to him last week. He's chilling in Hawaii. So miss all my Usos out there, man.
oh, that's what's up. You know what's up? So Isaac Sopoaga. So I have a story
Yeah.
about him in J-Town over where I'm from, in San Jose. I saw him back. I think it was like during the Lakers Celtics championship run or
You
Lakers
know
Nets.
what? Yeah, I forgot because y'all wear a Lakers. You used to always wear a Lakers jersey.
But this time he had a Nets Jason Kidd jersey on, so I was making
Oh
fun of
shit, that's
him. So he was at Hukilau, and I saw him there, yeah,
different.
and so he knew who I was, and now I was just a fan back then. I think this was
Yeah.
back in 2009 or something. And then like he was like buying me shots, and so we were taking shots together. He's like, "What do you want?" And so like
Yeah.
he won. I think he placed some bets that day, and then he
Yeah.
won.
That's
Small
funny,
bet. It wasn't
man.
crazy, but like
Yeah.
he was just a nice dude, man. So
Yeah.
Poaga's a nice
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah, we talk, we catch up every now and then. He's always he lives in Hawaii, man. He's in paradise, so
Yeah.
always good seeing him. His daughter's a heck of a volleyball player, so they're supposed to be traveling back to the mainland for some tournament. So wish them best of luck on that.
All right, so let's go ahead and talk about it, right? So we want to know, I'm a beat writer with the Raiders. You already know that, but
Yep,
I have to talk about this, dude. I have to talk about
yep.
the Patriot way, and because
Right,
and the reason I say that is because there's certain narratives that are being pushed, and everyone's entitled to their own opinion, right? Because it's all how you perceive how you're being coached up, right?
yeah,
I think because we see things from a different lens, from a coaching perspective, because we both coached and we both played. I think that some people miss the fact that just because someone says something, it's not as true to someone else as it is to the person that's saying the narrative that's being
right,
pushed.
right,
So there's a narrative that's being pushed. I'm not going to call out the player or whatever the case may be, but there's a narrative being pushed that the Patriot way coming its way to Raider way can be a bad thing because it's going to test a person's ability to really be passionate about the game if they are passionate about the game.
right.
For you, what does the Patriot way mean when you played under Coach Belichick and Coach Graham? And what does that motto or what does that slogan or that culture identity, what does that mean for someone to kind of embody?
Well, when I came to New England in 2011, all right, never heard about the Patriot way until I got there. Obviously, like I said, I'm coming from a different mindset because I was obviously older and I lost more than I won. But when I got there, this was my whole analysis of it. The Patriot way is basically, it's just for me personally, was a level of establishment or just a level of, grit, obviously hard work, dedication, determination, sacrifice, and then people say sacrifice, people think sacrifice is a bad thing. No, it's just, look, I'm giving something up where there's just certain distractions. I'm putting my distractions on the side for the greater good of my team. It's kind of like there's selfless. That was kind of always that was my take on it. Whatever it takes to win. I think for me personally, because I've had great mentors, from my dad to I had an old school coach and Cal. That on itself always basically installed in me. But not every player probably didn't have those type of coaches or were fortunate to have those type of coaches. And so obviously that's the culture. The thing that I just know with Patriots, because it says the Patriot way, well, everything starts, there's like an epicenter of any organization, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously the epicenter was Bill Belichick, right? The thing that created the Patriot dynasty is continuity and consistency. When you have a vet team, I say, well, let's start off with it. You have basically, obviously Tom Brady, and then you have, certain pieces around Tom, offense, defense, special teams. When you look at their roster from the time Belichick started off to that whole dynasty they won, I felt like majority of the players that were there were probably, they end up playing 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, up to 10 years all together. Consistency wins games. Continuity wins games. And then you look at not only just the players aspect, but you look at the staff. Majority of people, majority of coaches that are on that staff were there 5, 10, 15, 20 years. You look at the management, everything, secretaries, scouting, and now don't get me wrong, there'll be, probably some people that kind of filter in, filter out. But 3 years, 4 years, 5, 6, 10, so all that stuff is just continuity, consistency. Now take the Patriot way out of it. Let's look at all the other dynasties all the other successful teams that won. All right. You take the Buffalo Bills, for example, right? Granted, they lost the Super Bowl, right? But for a team to go 4 Super Bowls back to back, it shows something of continuity and consistency. You look at the rosters, you look at the coaching staff, you look at that aspect. And I've talked to former Buffalo Bills players, just random. They're like, yeah, we were just consistent. We knew at the end of the day they knew who they were. At the end of the day they knew the man next to them. All right, the 1970s, the Steel Curtains. What made them great? Well, they just had dudes that knew who the heck they were. They had a system. They could say that's a system. Patriot Way is a system. But people that just fit and fall into that system, it just worked. It was consistent. All right. Bill Walsh, the Bill Walsh era, same thing. A systematic program where you have the key guys, the core guys that you rely on that have the winning mentality, and then you bring in the certain pieces of guys that that will follow suit with the leaders of the organization. So not only that, now you have I said, and that's one thing I missed was leaders. So that was just more so the Patriot way. But like I said, it's the Patriot way, it's the Steeler way, the 49er way. Look at all those dynasties in the past. The other team I won't say that starts with the C word, Cowboy.
Yeah.
But though, like I said, that era of football, those are the people that made the teams great. The thing, unfortunately, now with organizations that falter is, what do you see? All right. You see a coach that comes in. All right. Yes, he brings his own guys, which is great. And then now he's trying to flip a team. But it's just, I think these days, they want to win now. You don't have the luxury of saying, hey, this is a building process of, from 1 to 2 to 3 4 years. If you're not winning by year 2, you're out. That's just the dynamic of the game. So a lot of things have changed in that standpoint. So I know people, and I get it. Like, don't get me wrong. Yes, you have a coaching staff that obviously came from a winning institution, and so what they're trying to do is take that certain philosophy and bring it, to Vegas. And like I said, if I was a coach in that standpoint, especially if I've been in it and won, 3, 4, 5, 6 Super Bowls, that's what it is. Obviously, through that process, it takes time. And I think through that time, it's just obviously, it's a level of stress, a structural system that probably some players are different. But, it's just kind of like the worst thing to have is the least past the worst thing you do is be more resistant and just kind of go with the flow of, evolving and understanding the game to where now it's efficient and winning. Like I said, it's so tough when, especially new coaching staff comes in, because you have a high expectation, especially as a former player, and then you win. And then obviously in their mind, they're like, man, we're not successful, but this is supposed to be, these are the, the men that came apart of this program. It's a process, man. But, everybody can take a butt whipping. Only people can take a butt whipping for so long, and, and so I get that, but it's definitely, it's timing, it's patience, it's got to be the right fit. There's a lot of things that have to be built to win the championship team. like I said, you look at all the winning teams that have won those Super Bowls. Obviously, everything's always defined by what? A quarterback. So all you're going to have a quarterback. Like I said, it's all the teams I mentioned, from the Buffalo Bills,
Mm-hmm.
49ers, Cowboys, Patriots, a quarterback that can just basically lead their offense to victory and then actually have a stout defense. When you have a quarterback that's kind of on the fence on the bubble, well, now that's kind of like 50-50. Now you're trying to create something now that's more coaching and scheme and making sure you got the right guys to help that quarterback win.
Correct.
So it's a lot to come into building a championship team. It's never easy.
Yeah,
Trust me, I
absolutely.
know.
You would know for sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
4-12, and
Jeez, dude.
12,
Come on.
4-12 and 2-14. That
Don't
tests your
remind,
manhood
bro.
there.
Don't remind me, bro.
That tests your manhood right there, boy.
But not only that, it's just the fan base too. Come
Yeah,
on, bro. Let's cut.
yeah,
Like those were the days where at Candlestick they had the Berkeley Farms. You know
yeah,
what I'm talking? You
yeah,
know the
yeah.
Berkeley Farm advertisement.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was rough, boy. That was some rough
Monster
times.
Park, Monster
Yeah,
3Com Park,
3-Con Park. Yep.
3Com Park.
I was like, damn, they changed the name again. Monster Park. It was all over the place, man.
Oh
So,
my gosh, dude.
so yeah, don't miss those days.
Jeez Louise. I remember as a kid, and there were some dark days, man.
They
It
sure
was just,
was.
it was hard. It was hard to be a fan of the San Francisco 49ers growing up because during those days, you had talented players. Like you had the Terrell Owens, you had the Garrison Hurst.
Yeah,
But
sure
there,
did.
geez Louise, but there was just some bad. Before Mooch came on, it was just bad.
Yeah. It was rough, man. So, but like I said, I'm hopeful with the Raiders. Really, you want to see it, turned around and just trajecting in a positive light. So keep the faith, man.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, so there's 40 of us watching, or 41 now. It's going up. 41 of us watching right now, and we've been on for 32 minutes and 23 seconds. Give this video a thumbs up. It really, really helps us out a lot, and it pushes up the algorithm here on YouTube to show other like-minded Raider Nation like yourselves that this is good valued content. All right, so we're gonna go and talk about and switch gears here to your guy, my
Yeah.
guy, Neil
Yes.
Farrell. All
Right.
right. And we're going to keep it 100 unfiltered. Look, you coached him at LSU. You were his D-line coach. He went to the NFL. We talked about Neil Farrell earlier on. You called him a lighter Vince Wilfork when he was on here. And when you were on this live stream, obviously Neil Farrell is a guy that I really like entering his second year, but he hasn't shown the sample size enough for the Raider fan base, not me, because I watch practice every single day, but for the Raider fan base to actually gain a good enough sample size on game days to kind of see what the Raiders have or don't have. It's kind of hard for anyone, in my opinion, to kind of gauge a player in year one because coming in as a rookie, you're just getting acclimated to the NFL game, the speed, the NFL rules, the guidelines, the lifestyle, all of that plays a role, and that has nothing to do with being on field. So aside from that and him getting a small sample size to pull from, then being activated, deactivated in year one, what were the Raiders getting, first of all, by trading 2 5th-round picks, moving back up into the 4th round to get Neil Farrell? And what did you think Coach Graham thought he was getting or is getting currently?
Well, I think Coach Graham is a developmental year for Farrell. And obviously, I can speak for as a player of mine, and I know his personality is like, well, I am ready, so but the thing about Will that I said, like I said, I've always been a big fan, continue to be a big fan. Just his mental toughness. Like I said, I'm talking about a dude that where everybody's hurt or people are nicked up or not practicing at a level or a tempo that is expected every day. One thing about Will, he always showed up. I don't recall, there was not a day where he did not practice. I remember he was sick with the flu and, was kind of going to the side and, throwing up and then coming back in because for him, he had a lot of pride of, he had a lot of pride in the game of, one, he's a starter. Nobody's not going to take his position. He's one of those guys that I felt wanted it more than anybody else. So he never disappointed me. He never let me down. The times he was nicked and banged up, he fought through it. I mean, you're talking to a dude that, that probably came from nothing. I remember talking to his mom. I think his mom got put out her business out there. I know his mom was kind of going through some stuff. But for him to just really be mentally tough and at times really tune that up and fight for the greater good, not only just for the team, but for himself and for his mom. I mean, when a man is desperate and hungry and try to do everything he can to put food on the table, that's definitely, Will exemplifies that. So, no, please don't count Will out. I know this is going to be a big year for him. I know when me and you talked, I think he had a good camp, but then he had hamstring, and then unfortunately, when you're a fifth round pick, behind the eight, you end up kind of being behind the eight ball. That kind of slows down the process. So, like I said, for me, I think he still has an upside. Strong at the point of attack. The ability to sniff out offenses. Understand the run scheme. I feel like he still loves the game as much as he's done since he's played the game since he was little. Definitely, I'm pushing for a better second-year campaign for him.
I heard that the Raiders are still high on him. I don't think they gave up hope on him. In fact, Andre, I'm telling you, I know if Jalen Carter's sitting there at 7, right?
Yeah.
And there's a huge need there. And when you turn on the film, Jalen Carter's just you know what you're getting with Jalen Carter.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
But I wouldn't be shocked if he was sitting there and there was a team willing to trade up with the Raiders, that they would trade back because they're so sold on Neil Farrell and Matthew Butler because 1, they invested in them. 2, I think they have high hopes for them.
Yes, definitely.
That's not to say that Neil Farrell is on the wavelength of a Jalen Carter. I'm not saying that.
Right.
But what I am saying is, from what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing, is they're very high in Neil Farrell. I wouldn't be shocked, maybe the nation would be shocked or upset,
right.
But maybe because I'm there as a beat writer, like I just hear things and see things. I wouldn't be shocked if they passed on Jalen Carter at 7, if there's a team willing to move up and get him and they can stockpile more picks, because that defense needs help.
Yeah.
But no, I love Neil Farrell. I loved him coming out. You told me to keep an eye out on him. I did all year. I'm really, really sold on him. I like his he doesn't say much in the locker room. I'll be 100%.
No, and that's always been his personality. But his talking is on the field.
Yes, yes.
He's just old school like that, which I've always respected.
He is. I honestly think, and this is, I guess I'm biased because I'm tied to you and you're tied to Neil, but I try to be unbiased as possible. But
right.
I think Neil Farrell is gonna turn heads in 2020. I really do. Everyone's gonna. I'm saying this right now. The Beast Receipt here on April 19th. I think Neil Farrell is going to be one of those guys that I'm going to be talking about, and everyone else is going to be talking about later on, piggybacking on it. That Neil Farrell is actually turning the corner.
Yeah, I feel like he will too. I feel like, from a rep standpoint, he'll be one of those guys that's just really dependable, reliable, trusting. I think I'm hoping that his role will increase, twofold, whether just, first and second down, or you have the bear defense where he plugs up the center, double teams. I know for a fact, just knowing his personality, he's taking care of his body. He's coming back with his second year with a vengeance, so it's going to be a good year.
There's been reports that he kind of dropped weight. When's the last time you spoke with Neil?
I talked to him once the season was over. Just kind of, just asking about, how he felt. And
what did he say about me? He said BEASTwriter's a
loser. He said you're good, man. He said you're good, man. He said he enjoyed talking to you.
I love that guy. He's really a good guy, man.
Yeah. Just I think you just obviously, look, you're a rookie. You're learning about the game. You're learning how this business is. So he's got it clear. He's always had a clear head. Like I said, now look, you got your feet wet. Let's go get it, man.
Yeah, and I heard he dropped weight. There's been reports that him and Matthew Butler both dropped weight. I don't know if that's going to improve their lateral agility or if they're going to lose anything off their grasp at the point of attack. I hope not, because I think what was he playing at LSU? Do you remember? Kind of like was he
Oh,
at
you gonna kill?
330?
Yeah, you know, he used to kill me because there was times when he was over the weight. I want to say 330, he probably gonna kill me, but I give him a nice 320. I'm being nice right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm being nice right now. But boy, look, he back. You know, when you got crawfish and gumbo at Louisiana, how can you not eat it? That's the weakness of any D lineman. So, but like I said, you're in this now to where now you got better resources and. Um, you know, you got to talk to all the little people that just work in the building, from the guys that train you, nutritionists. You know, those things are important. So, I'm really hoping that he's going to have a great year.
Yeah, I think he is. I think you bring a point. Nutrition is a huge part of the Raiders program. I know that for a fact because they have a nutritionist, but the Patriots have a nutritionist. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, and I don't want to spread rumors here, but if I'm not mistaken, Andre, you guys had I think you guys were one of the first teams that actually had a nutritionist coach.
From what I heard, yeah, I remember that. Yep.
Why is it that players don't take care of their bodies early on in their careers? Is it because they think they have a high metabolism that they can just kind of burn off the calories? Because to me, I bodybuild, and obviously when I played, you feel a lot different when you eat. Like, look at Tom Brady. I mean, you
Right.
don't have to go to that extreme, but I'm saying
No.
guys that take care of their bodies year round, right? People slack off. Like right now, what would you be doing in the off-season program? Because it started. You would already be in shape, Dre. I
I'll be
know
work.
you.
Yeah. I'll be
Stop.
working out already. Yeah, I'll be
Dude,
on the field.
you would already be in phase 2,
Yeah.
not phase
I'd be
1.
in shape. I think it's a lot. You got to look at the player, just kind of his upbringing. Like I said, being around LSU. I mean, I've been around players that just were grown up in unfortunate upbringings where it's just like, look, I'm trying to eat whatever's in the refrigerator. I'm going to eat it. And that's just the truth with it. And
That's true.
it's. And that I've been around players that never didn't have anything in the fridge at all. So any meal's a good meal.
Okay, I understand that. No. I'm
Yeah,
talking about college, bro. At Bama, bro, I know what they eat, bro. You get fried chicken.
yeah.
You get all the delicious
Oh
food,
yeah.
bro. You get
Well,
steaks.
I'm sorry. So I'm basically meaning I'm talking more with the kids that are in high school because
Oh no, no,
obviously
no,
when they
no, no.
come to
I'm
high
talking about
school,
college. Like,
yeah. Well, I'm sorry. When they basically come, when you got kids from high school that come up from that background and then they end up going to college, it's just a smorgasbord for them because they never had so much food, and that's how you get all these kids that know that weight that add all this weight. But what am I to say? Like I said, I always laugh because I'm like, look, you got a kid that's 18, 22 years old, and you're telling them to lose weight. They're gonna look at you. They're gonna look at you funny
I,
because
I,
because because
I
in their
always,
mind,
yeah, no, you're right. But I always look at it like this: like, I don't care what your weight. You can be fat for all I care.
right,
I mean, if
right,
you're playing a 2-gap system, I like fat guys because you
yeah,
can't move them off their blocks.
no doubt,
Okay. But at the same time, you got it. What's the fine line between fat and then body fat percentage, right? And then where
yeah,
do the two
oh
mirror
yeah,
each other? And how does that play a role in the system that we're trying to implement? Because for Neil Farrell, like let's say, okay, for instance, let's say as of right now, the Raiders view him as just a 2-down run stuffer.
right,
If you just view him as a 2-down run stuffer, then he's going to be off on third downs, which means he's not going to be light on his feet, right? He's
yep,
going to be more of just a space eater.
yep,
So in that regard, wouldn't you want to just keep him at his good playing weight to where he can set a strong base and, like you said, strong at the point of attack? Or would you kind of mess with his diet, mess with the fluctuation of the weight to kind of see if it can be an interior rusher and then see how he does being a little lighter, but then giving up maybe a little bit more off the second part? Do you understand what I'm saying?
it's too you're kind of walking a thin line because like I said, based on the roles. 'Cause I
Mm-hmm.
know with two gap, especially guys inside, you got to be really stout. I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
just and it's just amazing. Like if you lose 10, 15 plus pounds, you're going to be a different player. So you're kind of walking a thin line in that regard. But at the same time, it's like you don't want to be overly big to the point where you don't have that endurance, you don't have that stamina to where it's like now you get tired and wear some. I had a former player that talked to me. He's going into his ninth year. He actually lost weight, but he feels good. And I told him, well, look, when you're kind of at that age, um, like it's kind of like your grown man strength is already kicked in. So if you don't need it, lose it.
Yeah.
But for guys that are a little bit younger, basically from the rookie year to year 5, you just gotta have that happy medium. And then as
Mhm.
times go on, you'll continue to just add more strength to the point where like, you know what, I don't need this extra, poundage. I can move well, I can be more physical, I can create knockback, I can stop the runs more efficiently. So it's just it's that happy medium that you got to find. And I think every player is different. Like I said, body. I feel me personally, I'm really big on fat percentages. More for like I say, you just look at the endurance, the stamina of the game. Teams now are going no huddle or up tempo. You gotta be in shape for that. But like I said, just now they got stuff to measure the blood flow, the veins, your heart rate, your oxygen intake, all that stuff's crucial. I mean, I feel like from the time I played, obviously to the time I retired, and then now how the game is, there's so much new innovations of modern medicine to help evolve the games. I mean, shoot, they got freaking, monitors to, to track your kind of like your GPS.
Mhm.
Hey, today you did,
Mhm.
14 miles a day. I mean, they do it for, you see it now for soccer. It's just unbelievable. But how is that controlled? I think more is based on kind of like a player. The player is nicked up or hurt. It's good. It's good numbers and stuff like that. Or why is this player losing why is this player burning so much energy? Well, shoot, he's dogging down the practice, which is not a bad thing. But it's times like, hey, slow it down a little bit, son. Just or control reps for that matter. So you know, it's good, man, to get a good measurement. But at the end of the day, it's all based on the players. The players, I feel like now have more resources than we've ever had
Mhm.
during the times I played. So why not take advantage of it? Sit down and talk. Now the hardest thing I think for a player too, especially when you're young, is when nutrition says, nope, you can't eat that. Well,
Bro.
as a
Bro,
player,
preach, bro.
as
Preach.
a yeah, I mean, I'm still with it, so I get it. Like, what? I can't eat that. Well, I'm gonna eat it anyway. Don't tell me what
Yeah.
to eat. It's just it's like I said, it's a pride thing, it's an ego thing. Especially when it comes to somebody that's grew up on a certain type of food, or everybody got a vice. Shit, my vice is cookies and donuts. So you're gonna tell me not to eat that? I'm like, I'm gonna eat it. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, but I think as the time as you get older, especially how this game is, well, whatever you put in, you're gonna get out of it. But then obviously, look, as you get older, the new young bucks come in, and now they're getting bigger, stronger, faster. So you're like, oh shoot, this is what I got to do to kind of either keep up with them or surpass them and maintain my level position in the league. I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, obviously, you look at the great ones. I mean, look at. I mean, like I said, obviously, because he can afford it. But I'm just giving an example. Like LeBron James,
Yeah.
friggin' spends $1 million on his body. I mean, and that's why he is what he is. That's why he ended up playing for as long. But don't get me wrong. I mean, father time's gonna come for everybody. I mean, look, Tom Brady had a heck of a career. I mean, he took care of his body, but after a while, man, the body's gonna be like, nope, I can't do it no more.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Right. There's 47 of us watching right now. Give this video a thumbs up if you like the video and you like Dre's content here in the Dark Side of BEASTwriter. We've been on for 49 minutes and 16 seconds. Also, if you'd like to send a super chat to support the channel, you guys can do so in the lower right-hand corner of your screen, and it will help out the channel a lot. Or give it a thumbs up and engage with us on this platform. If you have any questions for Dre, we'll open it up for Dre. Dre, you've been really, really good. You're honest, bro. I like that.
No,
Some people
appreciate
just
it, man.
you don't have to be honest. You'd be like, "No, man, like I'll give you like." Okay, here's the thing, right? So we have GM Dave Ziegler's press conference on Friday. Okay,
Yeah.
we all know how this is gonna go. That's why I say like we have to ask the questions as beat writers, but we already know a good GM, a smart GM, is not gonna give you anything.
No, of
Like,
course.
for instance, if you were a scout, right? Even though we're really good friends, you might give me some information, but you're not gonna say, "Hey, Beast, hey Ryan, we're gonna draft XYZ player." Like,
Right.
why would you do? And then like,
Yeah.
there's people that take it like, trust me, I know. And then like, and it's like, no, they're gonna say that about even if you're not even high on that player, Dre. You're
Yeah.
gonna be like, oh yeah, that player does this well, that player does that well, but you're not gonna say, hey, look, like we're looking to take them in on day 2, like.
Right.
So it's
That's
funny
funny.
because everyone takes, I shouldn't say everyone, but there's people that take that as like factual information. Oh, I spoke with this source and they
I
said that.
know.
I'm like,
Yeah.
come on, bro. You have to read through the smoke.
That's
See
that's
what I'm saying?
that's
Look at you.
that's
You
that's
know
the
what I'm
energy. Yeah, that's people can't decide what they want to hear, man. It's crazy, bro. It's ridiculous.
It's funny. So I told people here in the DLB, I was like, these are the questions that are going to be asked. We went through it yesterday on the live stream here around this time. And I said,
Yeah.
this is his answer. We like everyone.
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs. Oh, we like him. We want to give him extension. But it's like, okay, what is he going to say? Like, no, we really don't want Josh Jacobs, or we do. Like, you would never know the answer behind closed doors. But the proof is in the pudding. He didn't get an extension yet, so that has to say something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So, yep, exactly.
but he's not going to come out and say like, yeah, we value Josh Jacobs, but we're not going to pay him what he wants. Like,
Right. I know.
oh my
That's funny,
gosh.
man.
It is funny because like there's people out there that take everything that people say from their sources as like, oh, it's set in stone. Oh man, because he said it. It's like, no, dude, you have to decipher and read between the lines, right?
Thank
They'll
you.
give you information. They'll give you good
Yeah.
information a lot of the times, but it's up to you to kind of know what's factual information and what's smoke. Like
Right.
that's your job. You know
Exactly.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. No doubt.
I don't know, dude. I think it's weird. Anyways, all right. So we talked about the Patriot way, talked about Neil Farrell. Let's talk about the draft is here. Let's go back and talk about your draft process. From what I've been told, you were drafted number 7th overall. Ironically and coincidentally, the Raiders also hold the 7th overall pick, but didn't the 49ers trade up to go ahead and get you? And that was a Bill Walsh pick.
That was a Bill Walsh. Yep. God bless his soul. It was the last draft class of Bill Walsh. That thing the night before the draft. I mean, my mind was scrambling all over the place because I heard 49ers, I heard Chicago. Denver was a little bit later. I think like 14 or 15. Patriots were, I think, way, way later. So I was like, man, what's going to happen? But I just remember just sitting. I didn't want to go to the draft. I was just different, man. I was like, I don't want that attention on me. I said, tell me where I want to go. Send me a plane ticket, and I'll be good. But I remember, 49ers traded a pick, trade to get me, and my name flashed. I'm like, man, I'm home. And that was the most amazing moments of my life, man.
Okay, so who did the 49ers trade with? Do you remember? Was it Seattle?
I want to say it was Seattle.
It was the Seahawks.
I think it was Seattle, yeah. Sadly, I don't remember. I just remember being traded.
So if it was the Seahawks, wait, were they in the NFC West?
They was different. They were different division.
Okay, so they were in the AFC?
Yeah.
2001?
2001,
Man,
yeah.
when did they join the NFC West? When did they join?
We ended up playing them I want to say maybe the following year, 2002 or 2003.
Okay.
Yeah, it's changed so fast. I'm like, damn, already? Like, wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So the Chicago Bears, they were high on your
Yeah, they were
high on
actually
them.
high. And a matter of fact, the D-line coach that I played for the 2 years at Washington, sorry guys, say Redskins, I can't help myself. Washington football team, Redskins. My
You can say
D-line
Redskins,
coach,
it's fine.
Greg Blosh, he was actually coaching for the Bears at the time, and he wanted me. But then once he heard, obviously he was there, he saw 49ers jumped up. He's like, "Oh shoot!" But it ended up working out. I ended up playing them for 2 years. Sorry, 3 years. Ended up coaching. We played them for 3 years. So great dude, like one of my favorite coaches I've ever had.
And then, so during the draft process, you got drafted. Were you at home in San Jose?
Yeah, no, I was in Maryland at the time. My dad had a house in Maryland, so I just was just away hanging out, and then they announced my name. Dave Ron, who was part of the management of 49ers, called me. They got a flight for you. Booked the flight, and like I said, that 5 hour flight felt like 1 hour. I mean, I was just on freaking cloud nine, and coming back and entering the bay, see the rolling hills. I'm like, man, this is like I say, it's home, because my high school career really started when I moved to San Jose in '95.
Mm-hmm.
And I just never thought in a million years I'd be a 49er. So I was like, wow. It was, I mean, what a high honor it was, just continue my career in the Bay, because I was had great career at Cal Berkeley. And then, like I said, it's kind of funny because most of my teammates, they were packing up, going to different cities. I'm packing up my car and just going 45-minute drive back back to the South Bay. So it was perfect.
Have you've been to Levi Stadium, obviously, because you've seen it in your practice and you were coaching
Oh
there.
yeah, definitely.
And then also Candlestick. If I'm being
Night
100%
and day.
okay, I'm going to say something unfiltered, bro. Like, I'm pretty
Oh
sure I'm
no,
going
it's
to
night
get
and day.
Okay, so Candlestick better, bro.
Yes, Candlestick. Like I said, I get. Hey, trust me, I get. It's obviously, as Candlestick was older, you need a new stadium. It's just like I said, Levi Stadium does not feel like Candlestick. It's corporate. I mean, just call it what it is.
Bro, it
Um,
is corporate. You know why? One, I'm a season ticket holder from
yeah,
Candlestick to Levi Stadium. Get this, okay? I'm not throwing shade. I'm just keeping 100.
yeah.
My seats in my section 134 went up from 4,500 to 4,800 to 5,300. Get this, okay? And get this, the people that are surrounding my area, right? They're
Yeah,
not even season ticket holders. It's corporate. It's people, and it goes to the highest bidder. All the people in my seat. I have never been to a game at Levi Stadium sitting in those seats, because I was always up in the press box, and I give them away
yeah,
to the Niner fans, because I still have fans who follow me here in the DOB, even though I cover the Raiders now, as a thank you to them. But get this, there's a lot of stuff that they do is kind of all right,
yeah.
and like
Well,
it's just
this is
weird.
the thing. This is my 2 cents on it. And like I said, it was my experiences. Like I said, I always be a Niner, love the Niners. I just knew the dynamics were different, because um, when like when you're at Candlestick Park, like I just remember this day and night. Like, if you wore a different color jersey, you'd get your butt whipped. I mean, it was
Mhm,
just like that. That was frowned upon. But
mhm.
when I was in 2016, it was 2016. Obviously, it was a rough year for the organization. And the Patriots came in. I mean, people. I just remember. I'm gonna say people, but I'm not sure people that are just on the corporate aspect of the world, or people who had those accessibility tickets. They basically sold their tickets to Patriots fans. So it felt like we were the visiting team. That for me, I'm like, dang, that hurt. You know, um, it's just that the pride of Candlestick, the spirit of Candlestick. I mean, like I said, the true Bay Area fans that are in San Fran, um, the multicultural aspect of it. You got the Mexicans, the blacks, the whites, the Usos. I mean, it was just the Filipinos. I mean, it's like this is what Bay
Mhm.
Area culture is all about. Um, but I do think, though, it's not just the football aspect, because what I've heard too, when it comes to Bay Area culture, I've heard that's dying down because everybody has pretty much moved out.
Oh, you mean
Um,
like me and you?
yeah, pretty much.
When we
Yeah.
talk about Santana Row?
No, yeah. To actually talk about Santoro, I'm curious, man. You gotta put me on you gotta
Man,
put me on.
it's not the same, man. Like before, man, I'm telling you, it's kind of changed, bro. It's like,
Yeah.
bro, when we were growing up, Santana Row was the spot. You know that.
Right. Yeah.
It
Definitely.
ain't the spot
Car
no more,
show at the
man.
car. It was like a car show, but with no no
With
couch or announcements. But that was just that was it. I just think California. in general has changed. You know, Bay Area. Like I said, I talk to people that's still there, whether it was kind of like pre-COVID, during COVID, post-COVID. Like everybody has just kind of moved out, and just whether they just end up going more SAC or they just moved out of state. You know, that the Bay Area culture that I always remembered, that I have fond memories of, is kind of like it's slowly dying down or dead. And it's, you know, it's unfortunate because that's what made the Bay the Bay. Like I said, I never knew nothing about the Bay till I moved to San Jose. You know, when my dad coached at San Jose State, and I'm thinking, you know, I'm going to Bay, and I'm like, damn, I'm gonna be fighting gangs, and I was like, oh shit, it's real cool. You know, it's real cool. And
But it is Eastside San Jose, bro. Let's not get it twisted. There's a lot of
man.
you know, what set you
Yep.
from, bro.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
You know
Oh,
that.
good old East Side, man. You know, like I said, it was fun. Like I said, I remember. Sorry, I know we got kind of sidetracked, but
No, this is good.
um,
This is cat.
I
Don't be
just
sorry, man.
I just
Yeah.
remember, you know, we first moved in. You know, my dad's going to bed. I'm like, all right, I'm just watch TV, and I remember Chewy Gomez on, and I was like, dang, what's this? Like CMC, like what's this? And then I see, like, you know, three times crazy, Drew Down. Like I'm like, who are these dudes? But as like you kind of got hip to that culture. I'm like, okay. I was like, okay, you know, I
Strawberry.
get it.
Remember Strawberry?
Yeah, man. Like all that stuff was like those. I think that's what always sticks with me with the Bay, because that stuff was always great. You know, and you know, then obviously you go to Berkeley, and then obviously, you know, yeah, you go to Oakland. You go in Oakland, then you can turn around and go back to Berkeley. You peep ahead in Oakland, you're like, oh no, I'm good. You know,
Yep.
turn back around. So,
Yep.
you
The
know what I'm saying?
Piedmont.
You know what I'm
Piedmont
saying?
heading to Oakland.
Heading
Oh.
to Oakland, like, oh no, I'm going back to
Yeah.
Berkeley. No, it's outside my jurisdiction. You know,
It's-
somebody's mentioned, yeah, on 106 KMEL. I
Yep.
mean, that was like, they always had some jams, you know, during the day, and you know, nighttime slow jams and stuff. But like I said,
Night- you remember that?
oh
You remember
yeah,
that back in high school?
oh
Hey,
yeah,
remember? So I think it's Wild Nine. It's Wild 949 now, but it was Wild
yeah.
1077. Remember that?
Oh yeah, I remember all that stuff, man.
Wild
I
107.
remember all
Remember
that stuff.
CMC?
Yep, all that stuff.
Bro, did you hear what happened to JV?
Oh, what happened?
Bro, he passed away, bro.
Wow.
He was missing for like weeks,
Did
and
they find out what happened to him?
they found his body in the pier.
Oh,
I don't know what
wow.
happened. I don't know what happened. That's as far as I got. And then
Yeah.
but
Wow,
then like,
man.
yeah, you can look it up. It was like, I think yeah, JV.
Damn.
If I'm not mistaken, it was JV. Yeah. So he was missing, and then they had the show. He was on what, KML or Wild 949, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Wild 949. So, anyways,
Wow.
yeah.
Oh,
So he was married to Natasha Yee. Remember the
yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah.
you remember
Okay.
her, the model, right? The
Yeah.
car model, when
Yeah.
import model, when that's when like the Bay was like popping with like
Yeah. Wow.
yeah, so
So here's a question for you. With how's the Raiders culture moving from Oakland to Vegas? How's that been? I'm curious about that.
okay, I'll be 100% honest. I was scared to go to Oakland covering the Niners in Oakland, even as a
Yeah.
beat writer. I'll be
Right,
honest
right.
with you. I was
Yeah,
scared.
yeah. I
I
get
was
it.
scared. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say I wasn't scared. I was scared for my safety.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet.
So to be honest with you, every time the Niners did play the Raiders in Oakland, I would tell the PR, I'm gonna do this one. You know, I'm gonna sit back.
Battle of the
Um,
Bay, man. You know how that goes.
and so Las Vegas here but to be honest, I think that was unfair a little bit, because like now that I'm here in Las Vegas, it's a total different, like, you still get that vibe, but it's not like that vibe. It's more
It's
like
different, yeah.
a candlestick vibe, in the sense where
Oh, okay.
well, dude, you have to, if you come out, you can stay with me, whatever, and I'll show you around.
I'll
Look,
let you know. Yeah,
I'm
for
telling you
sure.
110%, dude. Like the vibe at Allegiant Stadium is more like you're there for football. Number one, so
Gotcha. Okay.
okay,
Yeah.
so that's number one. Number two, get this, okay. they have these big tailgates. Remember at Candlestick, you'd have those tailgate parties. You remember?
Yeah, I've heard about me. I was working, but yeah.
Well, yeah, but you heard about them, right? It's not like you were partying with them. So what I would do is, even as beat writer, I would go to these tailgates, not drink or anything, but like, just get to know the fan base and just introduce myself, you know what I mean, before I head in, because I get there early. So that's what I did this first year. I was invited to some of these tailgates, and I was going to these tailgates right out of Legion Stadium. I was kind of intimidated, right? Truth be told.
Yeah.
So my friend D Menace is one really well versed, and he's one of the mods here on YouTube. He said, hey man, just go to this tailgate. It's cool. I promise you, it's safe, right? So I was like, okay, cool. So I go there. Everyone's so welcoming. Get this. Anybody, road team, home team, doesn't matter. You can go there, and then they offer you free food. This tailgate offers you free food, and then they don't expect no money, just have a little donation thing. Bro, that's what I'm saying. You don't get that vibe in Bay Area. It's like, nah, man, that's did you eat that one hot dog link? That's gonna be $25, sir.
They're gonna tax you, unfortunately.
They don't do that here. Like and then the vibe here, again, number one, very, very family oriented.
That's good.
No violence.
Yeah.
It's safe, even for away teams, which I hate to say it. It's about, every time you go to a game, it's probably 50-50 split, just because we're in here in Vegas, and it's my job. I think it's part of my job to kind of raise the fan base here, right? Raise them young to be Raider fans. But that's coming along. But I would say 55-45, something like that. So the vibe here is very, very different from the Oakland vibe, in that because one, it's the most per ticket. It's the highest average ticket in the NFL.
Oh wow.
So yeah, so like you have to have money to go to a game, which means it drives out a certain crowd, right? Just by default.
Gotcha.
So the people there, and I got to know everyone. I love the Black Hole. Every time I come out of Allegiant Stadium, I come out. I love the freaking Black. I love it. I love Wayne Mabry. I love Gorilla Rilla. I love I mean, all these guys, right, were just so welcoming me into the Black Hole. And I got to know JD there. I mean, the season ticket holders who are there, it's the same vibe at Candlestick, because you see the same faces. You know what I'm talking about when you come out. Remember when you trained 4 hours pregame before a game? You know what I'm talking about, because I used to watch you as a fan. And you would stretch out with the coaches and stuff, and do your warm-ups with your headphones on. Same vibe, but you always know the same people that would always be in that general area, right? You know exactly where they sit, but you see the same faces that come down, right?
Right.
That's the same vibe you get out of Legion, dude. It's kind of cool, bro. Like,
that's cool. That's
and you don't get that. You don't get that at Levi's. I'm sorry. I'm not hating on. I'm just keeping it 100.
Hey, like I said, it is what it is. You know, like I said, obviously my memories of San Fran will always, be there 24/7. You know, but like I said, it's different. Like I said, and I'm not speaking not just myself, but just like I said, I talk to people like diehard 49er fans, are just like, you go to a game, but it's still not that true, Bay Area, family type of loud atmosphere. But like I said, I think that's just the game, that's the game in general, when new stadiums are built, it's just that culture is just it's sometimes shifted. So you gotta, either accept it and adapt to it, or move on and find another team. So that's just kind of what it is, man. So, but other than that, though, like I said, Bay Area is always going to be, in me, it's always going to be a part of me. Still talk to my friends out there to this day.
Who do you keep in touch with on the team?
The most. Jeremy Newberry, Derek Deese, Jamie Winborn. Those have been me and Ronnie Hurd talk every now and then.
Ronnie Hurd, he went to my church in Palo Alto.
We reconnected during Brian Young during BY's Hall of Fame ordeal. So those are kind of the main ones. I'll talk to Anthony Adams, but I just laughed at his Instagram stuff. He's doing his thing, so it's kind of funny, man. He's kind of just. I always say Anthony Adams did social media before social media was social media. Like,
did he really?
Oh yeah, he had a knack for that stuff. Like he had him and Mike Adams. They had like the Adams Report, and so they were just kind of doing crazy things.
That was in the locker room, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was in the locker room. But
and they would interview you guys. They would interview the players and do pranks.
Yeah, and this stuff was
Oh
like basically
yeah.
on 49ers website. But understand that was actually when the time they did it, that was actually big because they were ahead of the game because in a sense, like everybody's doing it.
I remember that. Anthony Adams, defensive tackle out of Penn State, right? Second round
Yep,
pick.
yep. Ended up I think he ended up playing 4 or 5 of 49ers and the rest was Chicago.
Um, that's crazy, dude. Anthony, what is he? Damn, what is he up to? Is he still doing the social media thing? I'm probably
Yeah,
crazy.
still doing social media. I think I
Gosh,
saw him in the commercial, last year. He just he doing his thing, man. So I'm happy for him.
that's cool. How Jeremy Newberry, he was a guy that I got to know throughout training camp with the Niners, and he's smart. That guy's a smart guy.
Smart. Nah, he's smart, man.
He's
He
smart.
did well for himself, just taking care of the body and family man and proud of him, man. So we talk and shoot the breeze every now and then.
Who? Okay, before I let you go, I just want to know who was the toughest guy you went up against? I think you said Did you say Walter
Walter
Jones?
Jones, yeah, Walter
Okay,
Jones.
hey, that's GM. Okay, Randy Mueller, a good friend of mine, he drafted him. But outside of Walter Jones,
Yeah.
who's the second?
You know what? I put like Jonathan Ogden and Walter Jones were probably
Oh,
like even though they were both built aesthetically, like John Ogden was like friggin' Goliath. I'm like, hot damn. Like just had the long arms, was just like Dowsing from Street Fighter 2. Like, you're like, golly, this boy freaking punch. And
goodness.
then but I said Roger Jones, I played against Orlando Pace. I mean, it's crazy, man. Like, the every week it was like that left tackle was a bad dude. That left tackle was a bad dude. That I'm like, yeah, but I enjoyed it because it was like if I beat these dudes, then I know I'm trying to be one of the best DNs, in the game. So I had career years where it was great, and I had years where I'm like, shoot, they got the upper hand, but I kept on fighting. So they said, but I always enjoyed like during my first, during the years I played, from the time I played to the time I retired, I always say, all right, who's the left tackle? Because that was the money guy. That was the guy that protected that blind side. And I wanted every piece like, hey, we're gonna have fun today. We're gonna battle it out and see who wins.
So you had
So
that
it was
iron
good.
sharpens iron mentality. That's the
Yeah,
Raider
yeah,
way,
man. That's
Patriot way.
it. That's it.
So, one question here. I know you got to get going, but this is actually a good. Man, Guillermo had a good question. He says, "Hey Andre, who's the best quarterback you got a sack on?"
Oh shoot, man.
You said too many on your head.
Well, I had 82. I mean, shoot, I
Damn.
Hasselback was a dude. I think I got McNabb. I heel hooked his ass. So he was falling down. I think I got him. So I'm hoping I get him. I got a little back. Um, it's kind of funny. Like Jake Plummer when he was with the Arizona Cardinals, like he was just wiry. There was just something about him. I just couldn't connect it. But I remember a play where this is what pissed me off, and I never saw this before. I sacked him, right? I sacked him, got a forced fumble, and I knocked him down. The ball is rolling. Somehow I thought I tackled him, I didn't, but somehow he ends up popping up, picks up his own fumble, and throws the ball for a first down. I'm like, did you just see this crap? Like, how did this happen? I was like, it's unbelievable. I just remember that play. Kurt Warner, best show on turf, and then obviously when I'm with the NFC, I'm sorry, yeah, NFC East, Don McNabb he controlled the game. He was just a dude, strong, phenomenal, strong legs, great pocket awareness. Um, so I played against Brady, and I was an ass whipping. I was like, golly, this dude is just gets rid of the ball quick. Uh,
Is
Peyton, I
that the
played.
most frustrating thing for you as a defensive lineman? Is
Oh,
knowing that you, despite having a strong get off, what you did, right?
yeah, yeah.
Everyone knows you have to have a strong get off, but the quick release, the ability for the quarterback
Oh,
to work his
yeah,
progressions like
yeah.
within 2 seconds. You're balled out.
That frustrates the D lineman to a degree, but yeah, like I say, yeah, my coach and I tell my players just keep coming, man. Somebody got get some batted balls or put pressure in the pocket. It's just it's not easy. And I always never say, hey, never going back and hey, cover tighter. Hey, that's not my business. I gotta focus
It's
on my
not your
guys.
business, but at the end of the day, you're probably thinking it like, man, can you hold up in 3?
I
Come
know,
on, bro.
man.
Talk
I
to me,
know.
man. Somebody
Yeah,
call it out, bro.
you
That's true
call
though.
it out.
Come
I
on, it
know,
goes both.
right?
All 3 levels have to do their
All
freaking
three
job.
levels, but then the quarterback was baking a cake, and we get home. I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna hear this shit. So, so it's kind of funny, man. But yeah, man. Like I said, great. Like I said, the time I played, man, great era of football. All around. Guys competed, and we had fun. We enjoyed it. Now it's like I said, I mean, technically, like this 2000. I'm sorry, 2023.
Mhm.
This is I mean, this is like my 10-year anniversary of being retired. So it's amazing how fast, um,
Oh, it is? It's your
people,
10-year
yeah,
anniversary?
10-year anniversary. 2013 was the year I retired. So it's crazy. It's crazy how fast time goes by.
All right, after Will Anderson and Jalen Carter, this is the last question for you. Who's your favorite defensive line prospect in the draft?
Ooh,
We put you on the spot, man. This is the hot seat here in the DLB. We leave no stone unturned, bro.
ooh,
Keep it 100, bro.
dang,
Come on.
Anderson. You know what? I've watched a little with Anderson a lot, and I watched a little Carter. I'm not trying to be biased. Like I like both of them. Be
Mhm.
honest. That might be a good question. Will we ever do this again?
We'll do it
Yeah,
again.
let's do it again. Sorry, hey, sorry, Daniel. Like I said, I want to give an honest answer. I said both of them are great and unique in their own way, but I don't want to say, well, I always want to give an honest answer. But let's double back. Um,
So you have to
but
you have to watch the film, dude.
well, shoot, man, I got
You
freaking
you have a life.
my
You have
son plays soccer
you have a
and
life. Oh, I'm joking because yes, let's talk about your son a little bit. Let's give him some love. By the way, Andre Carter's son had abs at birth. Like he had a I know I seen his son before in person, obviously. Got to know him a little bit growing up. Your
yeah,
son is he can I keep telling you, I told you this from day one, dude.
you called it.
You don't you know where he's going. He's gonna be a
Yeah.
pro in some sport. Would it be soccer?
He,
He loves
he
soccer.
he's it's crazy. Yeah. Like I said, he started soccer when he was 4, and then he played up till like middle school. Then he had like the Oscar sliders and that stuff kind of nagged him. And he did football. In middle school. Like I said, middle school, but it's fun. Had a taste of freshman football. I think obviously is he changed his position to wide receiver, but you know how it is. If you're a wide receiver, look, there's so many things that go into it.
Mhm,
It's all based on philosophy of the coach. It's all based on their quarterback, or the fluidity of the game.
mhm,
So it just didn't work out the way he thought. But soccer has just always been something that's just natural. It's just he moves well. He just moves like a soccer player. So he basically hung up his pads. It's like this is what I'm focused on. So he's dedicated. He's determined. Every coach that I've been around, the times I was in Southern California, the times I was in Dallas, the times I was now here, they basically just said this like, look, if he wants it to be on that level, he has a skill set to do it. Obviously, he's going to put in the work, yada, yada, yada. But that's his goals. He wants to hopefully one day, play on an playing on an international stage. So that definitely keep you posted, man. Let you know how things going that.
well, I think he's going to be on the international stage. And nothing surprises me. And again, it's biased by default because you're my boy, and obviously I know
Yeah.
him.
No, I appreciate the support,
But
man.
but keeping things unfiltered, everyone knows I keep things unfiltered. I truly believe that your son is like I'm going to be watching a pay-per-view event or something like on YouTube TV where your
Yeah.
son is just going to be like the next big thing like in soccer. Like
Yeah.
I see the Instagram stories, bro. If when he was a baby,
Yeah. Yeah,
come on,
man.
come
I
on,
bet.
bro. Like
Yeah.
I've seen it, and
I tell you,
I told
you
you he
know,
was on the big things.
I'm like I said, I'm probably more spiritual and religious, but I just remember reading this, and I'm not sure if it's from a Bible or from something. And it's just always says something like every generation that's born is always always gonna be better than the generation before.
Mm-hmm.
So, my dad, he did his thing. I was very fortunate to have a great career. Like I said, it happened where, yeah, the high draft pick, yada yada yada. But for my son, I'm just like, dude, something's going to happen where you're going to end up doing more than I've ever imagined and dreamed. I'm like, I always say this. I think he kind of just like, well, whatever. Like, my son's my hero. Like, I love everything that he does, and for me to be just part of the journey and share that, that's like, I'm like any dad. I mean, I'm just a proud father, and I just told him, like, look, if you end up doing some big things, I said, look, wherever you go, I go. I won't be the ones to support you every game, internationally. I'll give a dang. I'll figure it out. Me on my own, figure it out. But um, like I said, and he's ever since he was born in '07, it's just, and when you have a son, that just does something to you, and when he was born, literally, we were playing Tampa. He was born on Friday. He was born on Friday, leaving for Tampa on Saturday, played Tampa on Sunday. I think we won. I got a sack. I was like, I'm going to get a sack for this boy and fly back. And, he's right there. So it's just, he just kind of knew, I knew from the back that, hey, something great's going to come with this kid. And his work ethic is, phenomenal. He's dedicated and focused. I always joke around like he's almost a straight A student. He's typical student
Athlete.
athlete
Yup.
student.
Yup.
I'm like,
Yup.
boy, stop! Like, go get these straight A's, man. Like,
Yep.
you can do it, but it's that age, man. But
Quincy's smart.
he's smart. He's very
Quincy's
smart.
smart, dude.
I'm just
Come on.
typical parent. Like, hey, knock it off. Like, go. But very very proud of him. Like, I always tell him that and give him a hard time. But I'm very very proud of him. And like I said, some opportunities are coming his way, and I'll definitely keep you posted on that, man.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, thank you so much, Andre. I appreciate it, my guy. And yeah, follow this guy on Twitter, follow him on Instagram, and you guys will know what I'm talking about. This guy is the real deal Pro Bowl player. Hopefully, gain some insight on the Patriot way, Raider way, Neil Farrell. And obviously, we're going to have him back on talking NFL draft. Well, thank you so much, Dre. I appreciate it. You've been always a good friend, mentor when evaluating game film. And people want to know, like, how do you watch game film? Well, obviously, anybody who knows, I'm like an open book. I learn from the best. You are one
Yeah,
of the best. And
yeah,
we
that's it.
continue to learn every
That's
single day.
it. You can talk football, man. That's it.
We can talk football. All right. Well, thank you so much, Ray. I appreciate it, my man.
Thank you, brother. Catch you soon, man.
All right. That was Andre Carter, everyone. He is the guy of the hour. Thank you so much, Raider Dad 559 for the super chat and super sticker. I really appreciate it. We are 1 hour, 22 minutes, and 52 seconds into this live stream. If you want to support the channel here on YouTube and support me here in the DOB, please consider sending me a super chat or super sticker. Or, I understand times are tough. Just give this video a thumbs up. There's 27 of us watching right now. It will definitely do a solid and push the algorithm to other like-minded nation like yourselves. So please do that. Also, looked at my analytics again last night, just like the night before, the night before that, and the night before that. There's only 14.5% of you guys that have turned on the bell notifications. Although, and despite being subscribed to the channel, please do so. Just flip on the bell notification so you get notified when we go live or when we upload content. This is what we'd like to do. This is the Blitz Pickup. This is a scheduled live stream. So again, we are going to do this every Wednesday. And then tomorrow, I'm going to have another beat writer, hopefully, if they're willing to collab, come on the show. And we're going to talk with another fellow beat writer because I'm a beat writer. There's only a handful of us. So you're going to see the same faces, get to know them and their takes, and hopefully not the same takes. And we're going to talk about all things NFL as it relates to the silver and black. So again, we're leaving no stone unturned. We have the Pick 6 at 6 p.m. live stream Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, of course, today is a Blitz pickup. Time to be determined because we don't know what time the guest is able to hop on. Thursday, same thing applies with the beat writer segment every single Thursday. Don't miss a beat. And Friday will be our 4th and goal segment leading up to the big game. So again, a lot of news and notes and quotes from around the league. But again, let me write this down. Thank you so much, Raider Dad 559. He says, your shows are elite and much appreciated. Thank you. And again, it really means a lot because at the end of the day, I love doing these, but you guys have to help me know that I do these things, and you guys can do that through a simple like that is free. I'm not asking for money, not asking for a penny. Just give this video a thumbs up and give all my videos a thumbs up. Obviously, what really helps too is going back, and if you missed any live streams, if you missed any videos, those are all still good. So if you missed any throughout the week, I strongly encourage you to watch those so you don't miss a beat from a guy on the beat. All right. Now let me write this down and then cross-check. Keep score of the other people you're watching. You only have 24 hours in a day. Keep the receipts of what they're saying. Keep the receipts of what I'm saying in real time, not in hindsight, not being a flip-flop or fake. And you guys can be the judge on who you want to follow moving forward. Thank you so much, D-Bay Cooper. He says, great show. Kevin Lurker says, thanks, Andre. All right. All right. Well, I think we're about to head out of this live stream. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. We are an hour and 25 minutes and 50 seconds in. Hopefully, I answered some questions. It was good having Andre Carter on simply because he played for Coach Graham, played for Coach Belichick, obviously understands the Patriot way, and obviously understands the Raider way, playing for both those teams. Obviously was the number 7th pick overall back in 2001. So the Raiders, years later, as in today, hold the 7th pick overall. So he kind of gave us and shed some light on exactly what that experience was like, being a top 7 pick. And then we also delved into Neil Farrell, a player he coached over at LSU. So again, I hope you guys learned something here. Again, this is very educational. At the bottom of my heart, I want this channel to be a very educational platform, because if you're not learning something, you're not growing. And every day you either get better or worse. You never remain the same. So again, thank you everyone for tuning in. Again, special mahalo to Raider Dad 559 for the super chat and super sticker. And mahalo to everyone that joined on this live stream. And again, we'll be doing again tomorrow for another live stream segment called Don't Miss a Beat from a guy on the beat. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. I had fun. I hope you guys had fun. Take care for now. That's it for tonight. BEASTwriter out.